and welcome to 5 After 5. I'm Frank Cusimano. This is Corey Miller. We hit the five hot topics. Can we start over?
You got it eventually there. All right. Cards back in action today. They're playing right now in Milwaukee. Big test. This is going to be the two teams everybody's talking about coming down the stretch.
No doubt about it. The road to the Central Division goes through Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There's no doubt about it. They had the big three in terms of a starting staff. I think we had the big three in the middle of the order with O'Neill, Arenado, and Goldschmidt. Look, if you want to win the division, you have to beat Milwaukee. I don't think our pitching matches up that well, but I think our hitting is just insane.
Albert hitting fifth today. He already had a hit in the second inning, I guess it was, and he got thrown out trying to steal third base.
Interesting, yeah.
For the first time in 2015. You think they're just throwing him out there against righties to see, hey, maybe we got something here. Maybe he's more than a lefty guy early in the season to see what you got.
Well, I think if you coming off a three-hit game, you probably deserve the right to start the next game, especially when you have 680 home runs.
He was going to play against Greinke if that game hadn't got rained out too. So
yeah. You know, the difference is this. If he was doing this in Pittsburgh and there were 7,000 people, maybe he hits 205 and hits 6 home runs. But every time you come to the plate and there's 40,000 people at least cheering for you, that's got to, give you a little bounce in your step.
Adam Wainwright on the hill today. He's going to be so huge this year. We saw him good first start on opening day. You think they'll extend it? Well, he's in a little bit of trouble. You think they'll extend him out to maybe go more innings this time?
Well, it's interesting because if he goes 5, that's about as long as any starting pitcher in Major League Baseball is going now. Even though he hasn't been razor sharp, I wouldn't be surprised if he gives you 6 today. But the way things now are, go 5, and that's a really successful start.
Yeah. If you're watching us on Facebook, leave a comment, question. We'll get to you. I'm watching over here. Second thing we're going to talk about today, Blues in Buffalo, still on the road trip. They get to take on Tage Thompson and the Sabres. Thompson's been lighting it up for the Sabres, but you never go back. You're never going to redo that trade. No matter how good Tage Thompson is, you got Ryan O'Reilly. It got you a Stanley Cup. But he's finally looking like the guy the Blues thought he was going to be.
Yeah, now here's what he has to do to make this a bad trade for the Blues. He's got to win at least 1 Stanley Cup in Buffalo and then thoroughly outplay Ryan O'Reilly for the next 5 years. If he does, you think, well, maybe it wasn't such a great deal for the Blues. But right now, look, he got you your first Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
You've never done it. It was 50-plus years. It was an unbelievable trade when it happened. Thompson has done nothing up until this year. And I still think Riley's going to be really good for the next 4 or 5. And I got to tell you something. I would not be shocked at all if they win another Stanley Cup while he's here, while he's the captain. And if they do win 2, and let's say he wins the Conn Smythe, win it.
Yeah.
He wins the Conn Smythe. I wonder if there's statue possibility.
Definitely a possibility. Blues are playing overall better here recently. Who's in goal today?
Jordan Binnington.
Jordan Binnington. He's been great lately.
Yeah, and here's the best stat, though. If they score 4 goals tonight, that would be their 10th consecutive game of 4 goals or more. Do you realize in the NHL, you got to go back to the 92 Penguins with a fellow named Mario Lemieux and I think Paul Coffey and probably Jaromir Jagr on that team. I mean, this is one of the 2 or 3 best offensive teams in Blues history, best power play in Blues history. So this is pretty scary.
Robert Thomas' breakout has really helped everybody along. Every night he does something that makes you go, wow. Okay, we're going to get back to that letting pitchers go long because we had a situation yesterday. Clayton Kershaw pulled from the game, Dodgers against the Twins, 7 perfect innings, 80 pitches. They took him out. I get it, but I hate it.
No, I don't even get it. I think, too.
Shortened spring training, you don't want to get a guy hurt. There is something there, but I hate it. I hate it.
You got to let him go out there at least. And let's just say he had a 9-pitch 8th inning. I mean, if you have a chance to do something that's only been done 23 other times in the history of baseball, and they've played 22,000 games, and it's a sport that's so far behind the NFL and so far behind the NBA, and all of a sudden you would just own, it would be the biggest story, ever. It would not be the biggest story ever, but one of the biggest stories in baseball in a long time. Let the guy pitch.
There hasn't been a perfect game since 2012. Kershaw, 80 pitches, I think, is the thing I'm hung up on here. He's going to tell you, he's been in the game long enough. He'll tell you when he thinks he needs to come out at that point, I think.
Yeah, and for the most part, he's been durable. Now, he's had some back issues, but if he's not complaining about his back, you got to let him go. Reggie Jackson was right. I love this tweet.
There's always an issue in baseball, it seems. Okay, Mizzou, we're going to talk Mizzou football here. We got some news today. They're moving their opening game against Louisiana Tech to Thursday night showcase. Is that exciting?
It is, and I think it already gives you the impact of Luther Burden III. I wonder if ESPN decides to pick this game up if Missouri's best receiver is Dominic Lovett.
Yeah.
You know, I think Luther opens up so many new channels, and I think he just makes this program big time. And the other day, Corey, I don't know if you saw this, but Dennis Dodd, who covers college football as well as anybody, ranked the 10 best college coaches under the age of 45. And number 10 on that list was Eli Drinkwitz. And he wasn't on that list because of his record at Mizzou, where he's a game under 500. He's on that list because he recruited Luther Burden III and has the 14th ranked recruiting class.
What way too early prediction, or not even prediction, what's successful for Mizzou this year? 8 wins?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable. Yeah.
I don't think that's
Their
bad
non-conference is not great, and
No.
you win 4 in the regular. Yeah, you can do that.
I'd take 8. Gonna stick with some more Mizzou talk and SLU talk together. Kind of a big battle here for a recruit going on in the St. Louis area. Connor Turnbull at Fort Zumwalt North. Excuse me, that's a tongue twister. Fort Zumwalt North. Both these schools want him. He decommitted from Butler, and it's kind of a free-for-all right now.
It is, and Butler's back in it too because Thad Matta kept the assistant that recruited Turnbull originally where he signed there. I thought Mizzou was like the early favorite. You know, his mom went there, and he had a good experience there, you know, in the fall when they recruited him. But then he turned down their visit, and then he went to SLU where he was at the visit with Brad Beal elite teammates Kellen Thames and Nick Kramer. Those 3 were as thick as thieves all summer long. And I thought that was going to happen for SLU, but now Mizzou has got some momentum.
Oh, really?
And they're back in it, and they may get a visit out of him anyway. But this is a really nice
Be a
battle
big
for a
get
local
for
kid.
it'd be a big get for either team for
Oh,
sure.
my goodness, yeah. He could be a starting center at SLU for 3 years, and who knows, he could maybe start at Mizzou right away.
Yeah.
So
Definitely one to keep an eye on, and it's always exciting when kids from our area are looking like they're going to pick between a school that people around here are actually
Keep 'em
going to
all
follow.
home. Yep.
All right, that'll do it for today's 5 After 5. We'll see everybody next week.